Okay, I'm working on this robot clock, and I thought I'd share with you what I'm getting ready to do. I want to backlight the display. So I'll take the front off here, and the dial. And you can see I've added in a row of LEDs here, and glued them in with a popsicle stick, so that when the LEDs are on, they're going to shine through this this clear plastic. But what I need to do is, first of all, I need to extend these wires, and I want to also power this with a one of these wall transformers. So I've got one here. I'm just going to quickly check it out and see if I need to tone it down a little. This can take a lot more than, I think this can take about 24 volts. But this is a 9 volt. Usually the center pin is the positive, so I'm just going to quickly test this and see how bright it is. So that's pretty good. I don't want it that bright, but I'm going to use a resistor to tone that down. And the way I'm going to do that is I've got a potentiometer here. It's a 3-terminal device, and what I'm going to do is apply the 9 volts to one pin, and the ground of the 9 volts to the other. And in the center pin, that's going to be the tap that this potentiometer picks up on. And so when I rotate the tap, it's going to be rotating all the way from ground all the way up to the maximum voltage that it can that I have applied. And it's a 5K pot, so somewhere in the middle there is going to be the dimming range that I'm going to want. So first I'm going to go ahead and extend these wires a little bit. They're a little bit too short to go where I need to go. I got my soldering iron heated up, and what I'm going to use on these is just some ferrules, crimp ferrules. I could just tack it with solder. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll just tack it with solder. It's not like it's going to move around a lot or anything. So I'm just tinning the wires right now, and I'm just going to tack these together. And it's nothing critical. It's just the backlight for a clock. So I'm using red on the red, and the black wire I'm just switching over to green because I couldn't find any black. Yeah, it doesn't look too good. I'm going to have to hit that one some more. Those look like they're on there okay. And I'm going to just cut some heat shrink tubing just to slide over that joint there. Heat shrink tubing is pretty nice. It's the way it's manufactured. When you expose it to heat, it shrinks. And so you can slide it onto a wire and then heat up the insulation of the shrink tubing, and it'll shrink around and protect the connection. You can use open flame. I'm just going to use my soldering iron here. Just to put a little heat on it. If I used a heat gun, which is what you would normally do, you'd have to be careful because this robot clock is made out of thermal. It's a 3D printed plastic clock, and it would easily melt if you got a heat gun anywhere near it. But that's good enough. I can see that it's shrunk down a little there. And so next, I'm going to go ahead and unplug my transformer. And what I'm going to do is just cut the leads of this right off. And normally on a transformer like this, is striped. There'll be one wire that's striped and the other one is plain. And I think the striped one is positive. I'm just going to confirm it real quickly. I could go get a voltmeter, but this LED will work just fine to indicate the voltage. Because if I hook the LED up backwards, it won't hurt anything. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this. And I'm going to hook it up like I think it should be hooked up, with the positive to the striped and the negative to the plain. We'll see what happens. That's the correct polarity. Seeing the LED lighting up. So now I can unplug that again. And so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run these wires around to the back here. I've already drilled a hole right here for this potentiometer. So I'm going to go ahead and mount it. And one thing about potentiometers, a lot of them there's a tab right there that's meant to go into a hole on the inside and lock the thing from rotating. I don't have that in this setup here. I drilled the hole, I didn't design it in, so I'm just going to take some needle nose pliers and break that little tab off. So it'll go in now. And I want to orient the soldering lugs to the rear for now, so I can solder it in place. So got it installed right there. And now I just need to, the red wire I'm going to put right in the middle terminal. The green wire is going to go here. And the negative terminal is also going to go there. So I can go ahead and get that. I'm going to leave it a little long. can just stick that right in there. And so I determined the negative here is the plain one. So I'm going to put both of these. I'm going to strip them and twist them. And then I can stick both of them together right in that lug there. And I'm going to go ahead and solder that. And there's a little left over. I'm going to just trim that. Now the next connection is from the transformer, and that's going to be to this lug here. There's already a wire sticking out of that. I'd like to get rid of that if I can before I add more to it. So what I'm going to do is gently hold on to the wire. I've got these cutters. They will cut it if I hold too tightly, but I'm just going to hold on to the wire and pull it out. And there's another one. I might as well do the center one too. I've pulled them out so there's no random wires sticking in there now. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my positive to the outer lug there. I'm going to try and do it from the rear so I can trim it from the front. So now, just have one more connection to make, and that's the positive to the center. There we go. So I'm done with the soldering. Now I can just plug it in and see if it works. Turn the robot around here. So here's the control right there. I'm going to plug it in and see if I get some LED light. So now let's rotate the control. Here we go. So I can go all the way from nothing and gradually make it as bright as I want. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted some backlighting for the clock here. And I'll turn the lights low so you can see how that might work. Still daylight outside, but you can get rid of some of the lights. And so if I want to see it better, I can just gradually dial up the light. And I want it to be backlit for when it's really dark. And so I think that'll be just about right.